Jackie Cooper began his acting career as a child, and for his role in the film Skippy, he became the youngest ever nominee for the Best Actor Oscar, as he was only 9 years old at the time. 42 years later, he stars in Candidate for Crime, playing Nelson Hayward, a candidate for the United States Senate. Yep, Columbo's playing in the big leagues now. Hoping to drum up some sympathy votes, Hayward and his campaign manager, human orangutan Harry Stone, have hatched a scheme to send themselves fake threatening letters, making it seem like someone's out to kill Hayward. As a result, Hayward is put under police protection by the LAPD.
So with the election less than a week away, Nelson Hayward, candidate for the U.S. Senate, in a race to fill the seat of the late Harold Lynch, will have round-the-clock police protection following the reported threats against his life.
I think I just clinched your boyfriend's election.
Hayward's been having an affair with his own wife's secretary, Linda Johnson, but Harry wants him to break it off with her to avoid a possible scandal. This puts old Harry firmly in Nelson's crosshairs. He convinces Harry to switch clothes with him while they sneak out of their hotel, the idea being that the police will follow Harry, thinking he's Hayward, and allow Hayward to go over to Linda's to end their relationship. Harry manages to elude the police detail and heads for Nelson's beach house. Of course, Hayward doesn't really drive to Linda's and is lying in wait at the beach house. This guy was Frank Underwood before Frank Underwood was even a thing. Oh dear, looks like he's taking the spacey comparisons too far. Nah, this is actually his wife Vicky, and he's throwing a surprise birthday party for her, which is where he can later claim he was running off to when he fled the hotel.
There's a switch. Imagine a husband going through all that just to be with his wife.
That's a switch. Well, you run for office someday and you'll see how much privacy you get.
Columbo's on the case, and I have to single out this brilliantly funny and human moment when he first arrives at the crime scene.
What was he talking about? Who? That detective that was just here.
I don't know, I wasn't listening.
Attributed to 3 gunshot wounds.
So, it seems that an assassin was lying in wait at the hotel, followed Harry to the beach house thinking he was Hayward, and shot him dead in a case of mistaken identity. But Columbo can't understand how the killer had enough light to kill Stone in the darkened garage, nor how the killer was able to make a phone call to police 3 minutes after the supposed time of death, when the nearest payphone was 7 minutes away. By the way, Hayward disguises his voice, once again using the old handkerchief over the receiver trick. Has anyone ever actually tried this in real life?
About Nelson Hayward. You'll find what's left of him in the garage of his beach house.
The fact that Stone's car engine was cold when the police arrived when it should be warm is also curious, as it doesn't add up with the supposed time of death. I keep saying suppose because Hayward established a false time of death by swapping Harry's watch and then smashing the new one. This is another trick we'll see applied repeatedly in Columbo. We get a pretty funny moment later on after Columbo finds Harry's real watch and demonstrates why Hayward had to swap it for a cheaper model.
You can't break it. I don't care what you do. Still ticking.
Falk and Cooper get ample screen time together, and Cooper's great at doing the whole easily irritated shtick. In fact, I'd say he's one of the best ever.
Excuse me, Lieutenant. Don't misunderstand. You're a very nice man. I like you very much, but I would hate to have to depend upon you if I was in a hurry for something.
Geez, you know that's what my wife says.
I'm sure she does. Get to the point, Lieutenant. Right.
He's really at his best when he's super annoyed and feels like he's about to explode at Columbo.
Yes, sir. Yeah, there was one other possibility.
You bet your life there was one. Here, excuse me. If he pulled in like this, granted, his right headlight would point directly into the trunk of my car and not throw off any useful light, but the left headlight would have a clear path to illuminate the spot where Harry Stone was killed. Now tell me that's not possible.
Yes, sir, it is possible. I mean, it's conceivable.
He's also perfectly cast as an unscrupulous, insincere politician. He seems exactly like someone who'd run for office in real life.
Yeah. Hey, Lieutenant, glad to see you.
Mr. Hayward, saw the latest polls. You're doing terrific.
Thank you very much. You are voting in this one, aren't you?
That being said, I don't think Hayward has a particularly well-defined motive for murder.
What are you talking about? That is absurd.
He wants rid of Harry Stone because Harry wants him to end his affair. That's it. It doesn't help that the luscious Linda, as played by Tisha Sterling, is fairly bland. Sterling isn't bad, and she's quite pretty, but there's just not that much chemistry between her and Cooper.
Yes, I like him, too. I like him for what he represents. He's a man of great courage and integrity.
Well, I'm sure that's what attracted you to him as a candidate.
Is she really worth killing over?
Harry, I need her.
You don't need anybody but me.
Joanne Linville is far better as per Vicky Hayward, one in a long line of boozy housewives on Columbo. There's a quiet sadness about her, a woman who knows in her heart that her husband fell out of love with her a long time ago and is really only still with her more for appearance sake than anything else. I wonder how mad my comment section would get if I made a joke about how all the women in Nelson's life don't seem to believe in underwear. Quite the pointed observation, wouldn't you say, huh?
I can understand now why Nelson finds you repugnant.
Well, maybe not all the women. Hayward's secretary is played by a young Katie Segal, whose father, Boris Segal, directed the episode. He'd also previously helped Season 2's The Greenhouse Jungle. He does a good job overall, but Candidate does unfortunately suffer from, and I bet you can't believe I'm gonna say this, pacing issues. Candidate is 2 hours long, and like the other 2-hour adventures before it, contains several unnecessary scenes that scream filler.
Lieutenant, really, if there's nothing else...
Oh, just...
Columbo's introduced here during a trip to the dentist where the dentist keeps banging on and on about Italian stereotypes. It's mildly amusing, but does nothing to advance the story, and as such, sticks out like a sore thumb.
You are an Italian cop, and no matter who you catch for that murder, they're still gonna say it's the mafia, and that you're covering for them.
Come on, Doc.
Open wide. Take my advice, Lieutenant. Change your name. And don't bite down on anything hard.
Then later on, Columbo gets pulled over at a traffic stop and we get a whole scene of his car getting checked over, which means he has to take it to the auto shop, adding yet another scene to the runtime. We do get to see one of the rare times Columbo drives a vehicle other than his Peugeot though, which is pretty cool.
You ever, consider getting another car?
I got another car. My wife drives it, but that's nothing special, just transportation.
Here's some other random things to mention about this episode that I don't really have a clever segue to. Vito Scotti makes his second guest appearance on the show, playing Hayward's tailor named Chadwick. I wonder if he's any relation to Beth Chadwick.
I'm going to an affair, you see, so...
Oh, splendid, an affair, very nice.
Yeah, my wife, she's a Bolton League. They're having this dinner dance. It's an annual thing, you know, $17.50 a couple, and I want to look good.
Scotty, of course, was introduced in the previous episode, as was Columbo's signature tune, This Old Man. However, Candidate marks the only time in the series' history that someone other than Columbo, in this case his enemy, can be heard humming the song.
You're in good humor, sir.
I like to win.
Columbo is eventually able to make even Vicky doubt her husband's innocence, which prompts Hayward to take drastic action to try and convince everyone that this killing really was the work of an anonymous assassin. While pretending to be making some private phone calls in his hotel room, Hayward fires a silenced pistol through the balcony door into the wall. Hours later, now surrounded by his many adoring fans, Hayward secretly sets off a firecracker, emulating the sound of a gunshot, and claims that someone just tried to shoot him from the balcony.
And would you say that having failed to hit the intended victim, the trajectory indicates that this hole in the wall was caused by the spent bullet?
Yes, sir.
Would you further concede that if this bullet proves to be from the same gun that killed Harry Stone, that the same hand fired both shots?
Yes, sir.
Then all that remains for you is to dig the bullet out of the wall and take it to ballistics for a comparison.
No, sir.
Yes, in one of the series' greatest ever gotchas, Columbo had already dug the bullet out of the wall in the intervening time.
I dug this bullet out of that wall 3 hours before you said that somebody fired it at you 3 minutes ago.
That's an absolutely brilliant final clue, and the look on Cooper's face says it all.
You're under arrest, sir.
Candidate for Crime is an episode that could benefit from being a bit shorter and feature a better defined motive for murder, but is more than saved by a fantastic villain, a cleverly thought out trail of clues, and one of the best ending scenes the show ever produced. If I'm being honest, before re-watching it for this review, I'd written Candidate off as the dead weight of Season 3, but in reality it's more like the lady-in-waiting of Season 3, a well-written, if not often overlooked adventure. I say, check it out.